And we are live. Welcome to another What's Up Wednesday. Yes, another week has flown by. OMG, this is going to be a crazy show. I'm so excited to have you here. Welcome. If you're here for the first time, my name is Scott. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Go Small, Live Large, all about the camper van travel experience. And if you're one of our regulars, good to see you in here. This is going to be kind of a fun show tonight. It's dark, it's autumn, it's Halloween month. I thought we'd have a little fun. I got my colored ceiling things going on. So that's intentional. That is not a problem. That is intentional. We got a big show for you tonight, like we do every week. We got a couple people in the waiting room. They're going to bring you on for a few minutes during the show tonight because this is the last show I'm going to do for a month because I'm going on vacation and we have guest hosts. So that's what we want to talk about tonight, is introduce you to them and the regular program. Let me zoom in here for you. Nashville bucket list checkoff. Wait till you see this, and I've got some tips on getting in your camper and getting a fall trip underway. Libation Live, we're importing from Texas tonight, and song of the week is Heads or Tails, to give you a little feeling on how that might go on the song of the week tonight. Shiner Bach is our Libation Live. You might be hitting this soon because it's been a long day. After a very long night. You'll hear about that in a minute. And where that comes from, if you're not familiar with, is there's so many great tastes, beverages and otherwise on the road. We've had food, we've had maple syrup on the program. Tonight we're going back to Shiner because keeping it simple tonight. Let's see what else we got for you. We're taking your questions. So it's all about travel van questions. And I think here's some topics. Let me zoom in here for you. So if any of that's on your mind, that is, well, everything's fair game. So just shout it out. What we do like to do, though, is, back up one, is if you could help me find your question, it looks like this. So if you can use 3 asterisks, 3 question marks, and then type in your question, that would be super helpful because it helps me find it more readily in the chat string. And if you want to leave a tip, we love your money almost as much as Google does. But if you'd like to float us a few bucks to help pay for the program, the trip, Libation Live, whatever, sure appreciate that. Just and don't feel obligated. Every dollar matters, literally. So we'd like to do that. And we want to give a shout out right away to Roger and Jane. This is what it looks like. And by doing a super chat or a super sticker, you get a jingle in the jar, and you get elevated like these folks. And I do not miss your questions when you give a tip in a super chat or a super sticker. He's saying have a great vacation. Yes, I'm looking forward to it. So we've been doing this show for 92 weeks. This is episode 92, and we're taking I'm floating over to flying, then floating to Europe, and taking a cruise for a month. So where am I coming at you from? I'm literally in the parking lot of the Grand Ole Opry house. Let me kind of zoom in here for you. You can see that. That's where I was Saturday night with the near full moon. I think it was technically a full moon. I don't know. Wonder how many of you have been to the Grand Ole Opry house. The weather shifted a little bit since this afternoon. It's a little colder now, but Nashville, it's very pleasant. Autumn weather. It was 82. Then we had a storm cell come through, kind of cool everything off, which is fine. Gasoline in the area is still pretty reasonable. I paid $3.33 yesterday, and what isn't inexpensive is real estate in Nashville. If you want to look at that, $500,000 kind of buys you the run-of-the-mill, and some of these are really expensive, in the millions. You can see that quite a few over $1 million. So Nashville has grown up, and it is no longer a small town. It is pretty big. Let us know where you're watching from. We want to say hi to a few folks. We've been putting flags on the map. So if you are watching from a country other than what you see here on the map, please let us know what country you're watching from, and we'll put your flag on the map, because this truly is a global program, which is pretty amazing. Little old me in my van, people watching all over planet Earth. And if you're new to the program, type in NEW. Whether you're watching the live tonight with us or you're watching the replay, we just want to give a shout out to folks that have found us here, the Go Small, Live Large community, all about the camper van experience. We help each other out so much in this program. So feel free to chat amongst yourselves in the chat, and let's just say hi to a few folks. Then we'll get into our, we want to introduce some special folks here in just a minute right after this. So hang tight, folks, in the green room. And let's see, we've got Kat in the house. Gas is still $6 there in California. Temperature is decreasing. That's pretty good. 53 tonight. That's kind of chilly-ish almost. Here we got New York Ron in the house. We got Louisville Steve, good to see you. Met you 2 weeks ago? Yeah, second, wasn't it? Whatever. The first week in October. It's been a month already. I'm so excited. And so it's great to see you. Sharon, good to see you. From Ohio, 378 to 399. It's 72 going down with 48 tonight. Yeah, here in Nashville, it's or end of the next week, it's going to be in the high 30s. I may have to winterize my van for the first time ever. When I fly away, I don't know. I'm hoping I don't, but I probably should. Let's see, we got BJ Travelers in the house. Long Island, New York, Fort Lauderdale. Kind of almost home base. Hi, Scott. Hope all is well. Yes, thank you for that, Bill and Joe. Appreciate that. We got Dave in the house. Good to see you. Joplin, Missouri. What a great town that is. Part of my Route 66. I still got to get out at some point. So hang tight. He's been celebrating 275 days homeless and loving it. That's because he's in his camper van. Pretty sure he's not sitting out under a tent someplace on a city street. So good job, Dave. Appreciate you sharing that with us. That's amazing. Got Tim in the house tonight, checking in from Columbus. Just had a fun-filled weekend in New Orleans. That's a great town. Holy smokes. Thank you for being here. And just a couple more here. We got some folks. Craig, great to have you here. So great to meet you in Chattanooga and spend some time. Thanks for all you do. Yeah, it was so much fun, Craig, meeting you and so many people at the Adventure Van Expo. We're going to do more of those. Here's Justin in North Carolina. And look at this guy. Anybody know this guy? Yes, Roads of Life. Howdy from Texas. This is Robert. Good to see you. All right, a few more folks, and we'll keep moving. And I just love this. This is one of my favorite parts of the show, saying hi to everybody. Quarters, 22GL, San Diego, 82 degrees. Hi, Dale. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate that. We got D. Morse in the house. It's raining here in Nashville, correct? Which is good. It hasn't rained in like 2 weeks. Lily's ready for a bath. So here's Gary in Topeka, and maybe this might be the last one. Oh, here's Ohio TJ. Not ready for chilly temps. I'm ready for chilly, but not freezing. I'm just really over the heat. And here's Catherine from just up the street from Jane and Rogers and Palatine. Jerry Minchie in the house. One of our favorites. One of my first guests. One of my first videos. A very storied author of all kinds of books RVing. If you're looking to figure out RVing fast, he writes in plain English, and find his stuff on Amazon and tell him Scott sent you. Okay, a couple more. Matt, good to see you. It's next week. This is my last show for a month. Will not know what to do with myself next week. Bad weather when camping. What to do in bad weather camping. I just kind of deal with it, ride it out. Unless there was a hurricane coming, I'd run from it. But you really can't outrun these fast-moving storm cells. So you just kind of hunker down, make sure you're not under big trees with big limbs, and watch for, if you're in a parking lot, errant shopping carts, because a 30-mile-an-hour gust will make that thing move and right into the side of your van. I almost had that happen to me in a Walmart. I just gotta deal with it, right? It's part of the deal. As long as nothing leaks, we're fine. Okay, we got a couple more. So Brian, good to see you here. Rich, good to see you. Ryan in the house. Nashville in the house. D. Morris, wow, just down the street. And Cincinnati Brian saying hello. All right, so let me bring some folks on here just a moment. What we like to do is let you know what's coming up on the What's Up Wednesday show. So I'm going to let you guys come off mute. And the big deal here is I've got some audience angels standing in for me. Think of Johnny Carson. He's going on vacation. Joan Rivers and Jay Leno's coming in, standing in for Jay Leno. So these folks are stepping in for me for the next 4 weeks. And Mesa Mike is one of them. So let's see if we can bring them all on screen. It's my first time doing this. There we are. It's the first on What's Up Wednesday. Say hi, everybody. So we've got Sherry, Frisco T, Mesa Mike. He's up next week. Well, I'll technically be, I think I'm going to be actually in the air on Wednesday, coming out of Florida. So Mike's up first. Mike, are you excited?
Yep. Be kind, audience. We're not professionals.
We just play one during the day, but at night we're crazy.
Right.
That is so great. So you're up on October 19th, so you're next week, and that's followed by Sherry. Say hi, Sherry.
Hello. Hi.
So Sherry, actually we have her van tour video posting this Sunday, so it'd be a great time to talk with her. So what's kind of cool about Mike, he's kind of a solo male traveling with a dog. Sherry's solo female traveling in her Embassy RV. And Frisco T is a solo female traveling in her Coachman Beyond.
Yep.
Teresa, hi.
Hi.
So they've all been really gracious, and I've got another couple, Roger and Jane, that are standing in on November 9. So we just want to let you folks know out there that when I don't show up next week, don't be concerned. I did not get swept away. Mesa Mike is standing in, and I just really want to thank all of you for really taking time out of your very busy lives to continue the program. Because I didn't want continuous, it'd be 90 for the 3 episodes next week, right? And then have a break. I couldn't do it. So these guys and gals have been super gracious. Words of wisdom you want to share while you're on the screen? Then we'll turn you loose.
We just want to keep that number going and get you to 100.
Yes,
Exactly.
sir. Which is not far away in January.
That's right.
So
And I have a little bit of time to figure out what my Libation Live is. So I'll be testing some things.
Oh, that's so funny. So what we've asked them to do is definitely do the Q&A, but we've given them some things to think about, telling their story through their eyes directly to you. So they have different vans, they have different travel styles, different travel needs. None of them are really full-time. They take part-time trips of weeks or months. Mesa Mike's going to Wilcox, Arizona Wine Festival this weekend, so he'll have all kinds of Libation Live.
Oh, yeah. I'll bring them all back. I'll give you guys a choice.
There
Reds
you
or
go.
white,
That's
everybody?
White. I love red, but they just wreak havoc on my body.
Right.
But again, just thank you again, and they've been so gracious to stand in for me. So we'll say goodbye for now, and then we will see you next week. Let me bring this back on here. Thanks for showing up tonight. Appreciate that.
No
Thanks.
problem, Van Bro.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
They're so awesome. And so awesome, right? But wait, it gets better, boys and girls. Ladies and gentlemen. Somebody scolded me for calling you boys and girls in a comment. So you're ladies and gentlemen. What can I say? So what we've been working on really hard is getting guests lined up. We love big brand and small brand guests. So we've got Outdoorsy, Road Track, Van Life, which produces the Adventure Van Expo, and we've got Livermore Camper Vans. They build vans, and they have the Rumple Puffy Blanket, and we have them coming on and more that I'm continually working on. So I'm really excited about this lineup of guests over the next few months, and to be so ahead of it for the change is pretty awesome. Hang in there, we're getting to our content. This Sunday, as I alluded to, we've got Sherry's van tour. What makes her special, other than being a solo female traveler, she's in a ProMaster built out by Embassy RV. It has no wood in that van. There is no black tank in that van. There is a restroom with a toilet, and there's no solar. That will freak people out. So Sherry will probably answer a few of these questions next week when she when she has her guest slot. So watch for that. That releases at 5:40 p.m. Central this Sunday. Really excited about that. And if you're, again, new to the channel, subscribe, please. We give you all kinds of tours, tips, products, and places to take your camper van. We just focus only on the van, which makes us kind of unique. And I'm in, by the way, my 3rd year full-time, and coming up on 4 years in February, and I have just turned 4-year anniversary on the van. I took delivery of it this week, 4 years ago, 2018. So I know a thing or two, and you might want to just kind of follow along for the journey on Instagram. Just type in Go Small Live Large, we pop right up. Let me tell you about a couple of van events, and then we will get into the meat of the matter tonight. Here we go. Let me zoom in for you. So the Florida RV Super Show, that is right around the corner. It's less than 100 days out. We are having a channel roundup, as I call them, a meet and greet. Some others call them, on January 19th. It's a Thursday at the show. We're going to be in the Lazy Days RV booth, the Winnebago Travado display. We're trying to get some folks to join us for that, like Volta, and we really are putting a flag in the ground on this show. You will... I find this show to be honestly more interesting than the Hershey show, having just come from there a few weeks ago. So I'm really excited about that. The next thing we want to talk about is this. And if you have your camper van, please come join us February 3 and 5, 2023, in Central Florida, about an hour east of Tampa, for the Florida Van Life Gathering. It is powered by Adventure Van Expo producers. No, I have that wrong. is produced by the Van Life Outfitters. We're going to call it a Vanbury Campout. They're going to put our posse together, our tribe. Buy your ticket. I think it's $100 for 3 days, 2 nights. They have all kinds of cool things going. I am doing a couple of workshops, and it's going to be so much fun. When you make your reservation, use the camp code GSLL. Go small, live large, and that will help us all stay together, which would be great because they're expecting like 200 or more vans. So this is enough planning out in the future that you can actually get there and join us. We had so much fun at the Adventure Van Expo in Chattanooga. This time we're really putting the pedal to the metal. Okay. Whew. It was a long one tonight. Sorry about that. Okay, lots going on. Let's shift gears. So what I want to talk about is Nashville, Tennessee. And I want to do it in the context of this town has a lot of great memories that I had never been here before until I got my camper van. And what made this town really special to me is this. I fell in love with country music, discovering it in Texas on Apple Music, and I have been infatuated with country music since then, which is probably 3 years ago. And because of this program on PBS, literally called Country Music, I learned all about the artists, the birth of the Ryman Auditorium, and I was really, really excited to get to Nashville. Did that 2 years ago, and we've done a couple of videos from that experience. You may have seen these, maybe you haven't. This is in a really great neighborhood in 12th Avenue South neighborhood, 12th South I think they call it, and I made this video on street camping. And that church is still there. I did not street camp here this visit, but everything that I did in that video still applies. I also did this video, 3 Nashville campsites, $0, $3, and $35. $35 was at the fairgrounds. I understand they no longer allow the kind of camping that we did then, so I'm glad we did it. Which is another reason to get your butt on gear and get your van on the road. The $3 one I'm going to talk to you about in just a second. Well, right now, that was a parking lot just about 5 blocks out of downtown. Still there, still letting folks park. It's gone up a little bit though. I think, well, I'm not sure what the price was. Maybe it was $8 I saw. Anyway, so pretty cheap. The $0 one, if you haven't seen this video, you'll want to check this out, because where I took our street camp, it was street camp downtown on 2nd Avenue, where this picture is taken. This is Wikipedia. My van was parked at the vantage point of this photograph. That's not my photograph, that's Wikipedia's. But if you remember back, December 2020, 6:30 a.m., a bomb went off that was not a Winnebago, but a Class C RV was turned into a bomb by the derelict that was looking to make a statement. Nobody ever forget him, right? And guess what? Unfortunately, we don't, because, are you wait for it? Let me show you this. The damage. You're looking south on 2nd Avenue. The building on the right, that is the AT&T building. They've kind of rebuilt the facade, I would say. On the left is what is remaining of the bombed out side of the street. Wait till you see this. Look at that. Is that stunning? I took this weekend. This is still here 2 years later. The iron elements here under the brick building, that is where the old spaghetti factory was. That month before, so November 2020, I got my new iPhone, and I had my clam sauce and Zitra, manager's favorite, in there, and I set up my iPhone because they had pretty good Wi-Fi. Old spaghetti factory, gone. That whole 2.5 block area, gone still. So I'm not recommending anybody street camp downtown Nashville anytime soon, because you would probably get some knocks, I'm pretty sure. So I just want to share that with you. A lot of history in this town, a lot of memories for me. And what I want to talk about tonight is getting in a fall van trip, because it allows you to check off some bucket list items, and fall's a great time because you don't need AC probably. In a van, you can save money. You don't need hotels. Stay out of their germs. Stay in your own. And you can say that you've been there, done that. I want to share a few things with you tonight and some tips along the way. To me, the camper van really enables bucket list checkoffs. And I've got 4 years of it now. And let me tell you, every time I land someplace, it just keeps checking off bucket list items. So I'm going to share with you my B-17 flight, Grand Ole Opry, and the Ryman Auditorium, and a couple points for each. So I'm going to zoom in here for you. we may do Libation Live soon because my mouth is dry. Okay, let's go. So B-17, it's a flying fortress, it's a World War II bird. It was really an analog flying experience. You've probably heard the saying fly-by-wire. This is fly-by-cables. I could see the cables running the rudders and what have you over my head. My ticket for 30-minute flight was $525. One of the coolest things was no TSA. He just got on the plane with the other 12 crazy people. It was so awesome. And I discovered this through our audience friend, April. She turned me on to the Yankee Air Museum. So thank you, April, for that. Let me share a few pictures with you, because I've always wanted to fly in a World War II bird, P-51 Mustang in particular, and then one of these flying fortresses. And this is what the thing looks like, the plane. It was so gorgeous. It looks literally just like that. Now, here's some facts about the plane. This was the G, for Mason Mike if he's listening, the G iteration, and wingspan there. Maximum speed 287, cruise speed 160. I'm pretty sure we were doing 160. We got to about 2,000 feet off the ground, because I know that because of my Apple Watch telling me. And when those four 1,200 horsepower engines get roared up, let me tell you, it is not anything you will not ever forget. You ready for this? This is why it's a flying fortress. Its mission was to drop bombs, but it was a gunship in the air. Every red arrow is pointing at one of the gun turrets, 50 caliber machine guns. It was unbelievable. See the red arrow there? That's the radio room. There was 3 seats. I sat right in front of that radio thing. You could see out above. This is me in my seat. Doing a little selfie there. I'm pretty sure if I had a really hard bump, my forehead would have been cracked open, because that pad was totally in the wrong spot for me. I don't know how big those guys were back then. If I leaned over and looked toward the cockpit, what you're looking at is the bomb bay. You can see kind of a fake bomb there, right? I can't imagine. There's about a 12-inch wide at the widest point, little scamper plank to get into the cockpit. That's where the bright sunny area is up there. And if I turned around, look down the aisle toward the back of the plane, what you're looking at is 2 of the 50 caliber machine gun stations there on the sides of the plane. And this is what one of them looked like on the ground. I gotta tell you, those people did things that I'm not sure our people could ever do these days. Unless you're in the military, then you guys do all this stuff all the time. So this is when we're getting ready to take off. So he guns the engine, and the thing is shaking, and it's rattling, and you smell it, and you feel it, and you hear it. It is nothing like a commercial aircraft. Let me tell you, this thing, I'm like, is this thing going to get off the ground? I was so nervous, but it did, and it just kind of floated off the ground. I couldn't believe, because it's not heavy like a commercial aircraft, and it was really not a rush. I was kind of expecting a rush like a big jet engine. It was just this constant parade and speed, and then just up she went, and it was just the coolest thing. But wait, there's a few more things you got to see. This is the cockpit. Once you got airborne up to where we were allowed to get out of our seats, we could walk around. When's the last time you walked around in the cockpit of an airplane? Yeah, not me either. And if you look really close at the pilot on the left, look at the steering wheel logo. It's a really cool Boeing plane logo thing. It was super amazing. I'm in the cockpit with the pilots for many minutes. It's so amazing. I look out their window, and guess what we're flying over? Yep, that's downtown Nashville. Flying over in a World War II B-17 with 4 engines, just making all this racket. I couldn't believe it. It was so cool. But wait, there's more. This is the front gun turret. Now, to get to this thing, here's the deal. You have to climb under the flight deck. So you actually climb under the pilots, out to the front, and you sit in that chair that is actually suspended outside the airplane. It was like, I'm like, this is as close I could get to it. Let me show you this. Because I got to that point and I'm like, yeah, my vertigo's kicking in, and I'm just taking a selfie and I'm checking out. Because that thing, and then what's super funny is one of the pilot guys came back and we were getting ready to land. He goes, hey, do you want to sit in the gun turret in the front? I'm like, absolutely not, unless you had diapers. He let somebody else sit there. I can imagine coming in at 80 or 100, whatever it was, miles an hour, landing with your feet, 4 feet off the ground. A couple more to show you. Let me zoom in here for you. Get your questions coming in, and we're here to talk about you guys. But I have a point to this, so stay with me. What am I doing here? I am standing up, looking out the window toward the back of the plane. When's the last time you saw the back of a plane doing its thing? With a little light flashed around. That probably was one of my coolest photos, was watching the mechanics of the rudder and air, whatever those things are back there, right? And then wait, here I am doing my, you know, like a 10-year-old boy, right? You get your hands on the machine gun, and swinging that gun around a little bit. It was really cool. It was so cool. All because I was in a camper van in Nashville. That's actually what brought me to Nashville to start with, to be honest. We'll get to that in a second. But wait, there's more. After we had landed, what did the pilot do to get the full experience? He opened the bomb bay doors. Now, when's the last time you looked out the bottom of an airplane when you're taxiing down the runway? Yeah, probably never, just like me. And let me tell you, the sights, the sounds, the smells, it was all coming inside. It was so... I'm getting goosebumps just reliving this. So anyway, it was a super fun afternoon. And this is why I came to Nashville, was to take this plane flight. Because I knew it a camper van, and I could do it on my own terms, which is kind of the punchline. Pretty sure if I had a camper van, I would have done this. So here's my recommendation for you. Take a trip in your van before it gets cold. Don't winterize it yet. Take a trip, make a destination. In this case, this air company, Yankee Air Museum.org. They're headed to North Carolina, South Carolina. They're back up later in October in Nashville, actually. So go to their website, make a reservation. I don't think you can just show up day of. Make a reservation. Again, it was $500. Excuse me, but a priceless experience. All right? I got a couple more things for you. Just because it's what the whole thing's about, is traveling in a van, experiencing stuff, checking things off your bucket list. So thanks. We're getting to your questions here in a minute. Bear with me here. So, Opry stars Grand Ole Opry. A lot of folks know about this. I didn't until 2 years ago, almost 3 years ago. The Grand Ole Opry was established in 1925. In 1974, it moved to a new location. They built a purpose-built performance hall. And if you watch the country music program from Ken Burns on PBS, there's a lot of people that are narrating throughout, Bill Anderson, Ricky Skaggs, and Vince Gill. Because a lot of the others are kind of died off, unfortunately. We just had Loretta Lynn die, bless her heart. She's amazing. So here I was, Saturday night, 9:30 p.m., getting ready to go in. This is us kind of getting ready to go into the doors. It was built in the 70s, but it really has this modern 70s grandeur to it. It wasn't tacky. It was so gorgeous. I was really, really impressed. Once we got inside, this is my seat. I picked the seats always way in the back and on the aisle. Kind of on purpose. They were kind of the cheap seats, about $100, I think. But look how far I am away from the stage. And that's going to be poignant here in just a moment. And I'll be darned if they didn't come prancing out some new talent. This was 3 black ladies that did an amazing job. This gal was singing a Loretta Lynn song that just makes you cry. And they all wore hot pink. And because the stage is so far away, I actually kind of watched the screen the whole time. That's the way these big performance halls are. Here's Bill Anderson, a really storied session musician and musician artist in his own way. See how far away they are, though? There's Ricky Skaggs. He's a big Bill Monroe bluegrass rather. And I got to see these guys the other night. This is Vince Gill. He's made some great songs. And again, the point is to get in your van and go do this stuff. I bought tickets online a few days in advance, so I would recommend do it early. It's a Saturday night show. There's 2 performances. The WSM show is actually at 9:30. So my recommendation, if you want to do this, make a reservation early, arrive early. So my recommendation is the parking opens at 5. The first show I think is at 6. Don't quote me on that. There's 1 sweet van spot in the $15. That's all you pay for parking. There's free parking where I am right now, but it's a long way away-ish, and I went the full VIP package, right? So my recommendation is to buy the $15 parking. Get there early so you get this sweet spot. It's in the southeast corner of a lot, under the trees. All the others are parallel parked like this. This one is by itself, so you can kind of hang out in your van for a few hours, rather than spend a ton of money there, have dinner in your van, have a libation in the van, and then at 9-ish, walk up and get in line to go inside the building. That's what I did. And I had so much fun. Opry.com is where you go for that. Okay, one more thing, and then I'll, because you got to see this. Last night, I saw Yes, the British band, in concert at the Ryman. Because the Ryman doesn't do the WSM show anymore, right? Grand Ole Opry. It was established, the Grand Ole Opry, in 1925. The building has been around since the late 1800s. But in 1974, they moved out to this new building that I experienced on Saturday night. Emmylou Harris, God love her, did a benefit concert to really bring back the Ryman. And then a whole lot of energy went in behind it. And it was restored. Took 2 years to do. And they reopened it. Now it's a music venue. This is where I saw Yes last night. So remember the venue distance with the Opry House? Look at this. You could see the people's faces. I couldn't believe it. I sat in the last row again. This is the last original member of Yes. He's still picking. He was doing pretty good. They got a new singer, new drummer. And here's with them. You see how much difference this is? I couldn't believe what an experiential difference this was in the kind of concert venue. I can see why this is so popular for concerts. Then I wish they'd do the Opry back there, but this only seats I don't even know. Don't want to quote a number. Maybe you do. A couple more pictures downtown, and then I have a recommendation for you. This is Broadway. This is where all the old honky tonks were. That middle bar, that purple one, this is where this is Tootsie's Lounge, Orchid Lounge, and this is where right out front in the middle of the street, Willie Nelson laid down, hoping somebody would run over him because he was feeling sorry for himself. I'm glad nobody ran over Willie in the middle of the street. Just kind of a different angle. And I got to end with some bad news about Broadway and this area. The Ernest Tubbs record shop has been running since, I'm going to guess, the 1940s. And sadly, ladies and gentlemen, they've closed the business. I've been there every time I've been to town, a couple, 3 times, bought a few things, and they finally closed the business, which is such a shame, and why I'm glad I traveled in my camper van to Nashville 2 years ago to experience that in its most fullness. Having been there, I now have a memory about that. So my recommendation for you in all this is plan a multi-day trip. Nashville's a great destination, great time of year. Make your reservations to all the things you want to see. I'm going to show you where to park here in a second near the Country Music Hall of Fame. There's a lot of campgrounds in the area, so I would not recommend street camping. A camper van, an RV of any type in downtown Nashville, I am sure you would get a knock on the door from the police. But while in the other areas, maybe that lot up there, you're fine. There's a lot of campgrounds by the Opryland where I'm coming at you from right now. So if you go to visitmusiccity.com, you can plan your adventure. And how many bucket list items could you check off? It's one thing to see country music on your TV and your 40-inch, 75-inch TV, but when you're standing in the Ryman, when you're listening to Bill Anderson and Vince Gill at the Opry House, it's a whole different world. It's good to learn from the tube, but you got to go do it in person. Okay, let me zoom in here for you, then we'll answer some questions. So this is where I would recommend you park, downtown Nashville. So circled is the Country Music Hall of Fame, literally one block in the square block there. 6th and Damon Braun is the parking lot. You can get this on, you can buy parking 2 ways, on site. And for 6 hours, it's about $35. Or you can purchase it through ParkWiz. I experimented. It was $25. So there's Country Music Hall of Fame. The other circle at the top is Ryman Auditorium. The kind of horizontal line is Broadway. And then the vertical line is 2nd Avenue, where there's some really cool stuff, and the bombing site. So you could spend a couple days. Now, I've not tried street camping there, so I'm not sure about that. But you could go back twice, and you could spend a very full weekend just doing downtown Nashville. But there's so many great neighborhoods in here. So that's kind of my thing for you tonight. The Nashville edition. The camper van has allowed me to find out so much about our history, discover country music. Now I get to go see, hear, taste World War II planes, country music in these places because the camper van took me there. And that's kind of the punchline. And then if you have your camper van, don't park out for the winter. That's a long time. What could be closing like Ernest Tubbs Record Store when you have a camper van, you can go someplace cool for a trip. All right. Whew. Okay, if you had fun with that, give us a thumb up and let's answer some questions. Let's do Libation Live just because my mouth is really dry. Okay, Libation Live. We're not even showing the slides tonight. So this is Shiner Bock, imported from Texas. This parking lot's filling up around me. If you haven't been to Shiner, Texas, go visit Shiner, Texas, and tour the brewery. It's really great. It's it's down by Austin, and be sure and stop by. There's the other small town that has the original cannon in Texas. Come and get it, with where the Texans fought back the Mexicans back then. All right, we're looking for some questions. Holy cow, I am way behind. Let's see, got that. And I'm just having a blast tonight. I've got a month off. I'm not doing any YouTube. I've been working like a dog, getting all these videos done and uploaded. Had to fire the editing team. That's gonna cost me a ton of money. Okay, looking. Please help me with your question format. 3 asterisks. Let's see, D-Morse, this is the right format. We've already answered your question, so we got a big crowd here tonight. This is great. Let me know if you've been to Nashville. Let's see. Here's Nancy Frazier. Good to see you. Awesome location, coming in from Seaville, Virginia. I have a great vacation. You deserve it. Yeah, I'm pretty excited. We found a screaming deal on a Mediterranean cruise. So we're flying from Florida to Miami to Rome, and then getting on a boat floating around the Mediterranean. Then we're going to end in Barcelona. Spend a few days there. Rachel's watching it from in Nashville. Please let me know if you need anything while you're here on your beautiful city. I just love this city. I love the 12th Avenue district. I haven't been to. I have to stop there on the way downtown tomorrow. Germantown. It's going to be a pretty big city. I took a picture of the one angle of the downtown area. 12. It was 11 or 12 cranes in the air. I mean, Nashville is not the small town anymore. Here's Jerry saying he was at the Opry about every other month for many years, starting in the old Ryman in downtown. Yeah, you got to see the real deal in the real place. This was cool though. I get it, and quite honestly, cramming in thousands of people. There's a lot of parking garages, but the vans would have a problem. That's why I wanted to give you that van tip specifically. We got Van Liberty in the house. Oh, from Vietnam. There's one for the map. Hey, Tim, good to see you. Vietnam. Kyle's from Vietnam, so made in Vietnam. That is so great. I'm dying to have some of his mother's Vietnamese cooking. Oh my God. What's a Vietnamese pancake? Love that. It's a yellow crepey thing. Let's see. Question here. Hi from Leland, North Carolina. Are you allowed to stay in the Opryland parking lot overnight? This is a mall that this facility is in. I would say no. There's a big movie theater right here, so this was a very empty lot an hour and a half ago, but they're all around me now. I would say no, because they have the security guys running around all the time. There's a Cracker Barrel just at the corner as you turn into the KOA and the other campgrounds. I'm pretty sure they do not let overnight camping because they have a really teensy lot. So I would say no on the Opryland parking lot. Let's see. Dan Archer's got a question here. How many miles on your rig, and have you bought more extended warranties? Great question, Dan. I have 100,500 miles. I'm hoping to get a video done before I fly away. 4 years of ownership this week. Actually, it was last week. First week in October 2018, took delivery of the van. So 4 years of the van, 100,500 miles now. My extended warranty that I bought ran out in August, and I didn't heed the warning in their email because I could have extended it again for anywhere from $200 to $500 per month. But because I let it run out and then a 30-day period went by, I'm no longer eligible for an extended warranty on the Ram. My warranty on Volta ran out 70,000 miles ago, and my Winnebago warranty ran out first 3 months at 12,000 miles. So I am on my own dime now, and that's okay. She's been a good rig to me, but no extended. Let's see, we're looking. Jane's saying, hi, all, looking forward to hosting in a few weeks. Sorry I could not join tonight. Yeah, they're just the greatest couple. If you haven't seen their video on the van mods, he's done over 50 to his Winnebago Travado, and I got to do a few to mine. Vietnam is so cool. We've been to Vietnam. Kyle didn't like it at all. I can't wait to go back. He's Vietnamese. Go figure. I don't know. Okay, looking for a couple questions. You all talk amongst yourselves. This is so great. We're getting a lot of. So this is here's April in the house. Late to the party, Jacksonville, gas 330. Yeah, she's hi April, good to see you. She's awesome. Julie, I think you're referencing Jerry Minchie's books. Jerry, if you can help us with this question, I don't know that you convert them into audiobooks. So my guess is no, but I don't know. Jerry, if you could help us out there with that would be great. All right, look at this. Ooh, got a little jingle in the jar. Thank you, Justin. So appreciate that, sir. Catching up on your more recent videos, could you elaborate more on what the mobile RV tech did to improve installation on your rooftop AC, and about the storage setup you have in the front passenger seat? So we had RV Steve on, was it last week or 2 weeks ago? The time just flies. Anyway, he's a certified mobile technician. What he did to my AC is wrap it in bubble wrap so it stays cooler, functioning, because in the blazing heat it's, in 80 degrees and the sun's probably, I don't know. So he did that, and he redirected some of the venting, so it there's a weird, what's the right word, the way that the airflow comes in and goes out, there's this kind of almost a circular motion. So he put a little material there too, that bubble foil, to redirect the air so it's more coming into the van versus getting recirculated in the intake, I think is what he did. He did it so fast, I didn't even know what he was really doing. Otherwise, I would have captured it on video. Now, there's been a lot of videos made about it, so it's kind of a well-known situation. If you go to the Winnebago Travado owner Facebook group, they probably have a whole lot there. Regarding the storage in the front seat, what he's talking about there, maybe Justin asked the question. So I don't have a passenger with me. My cat used to be up there. That was his cat basket. Don't have the cat anymore. So I took a shelf out of my overhead cabinet, and I put it in the seat, and it fits perfectly widthwise. And what allows me to have do is have two levels. So there's a top level and then a bottom level. So it's kind of my junk drawer, my junk seat. And by adding that second level with the shelf, it gave me twice as much capacity. And I've locked the seat belt, so if I get too much stuff on there, it thinks somebody is 12 pounds sitting there. So I just lock the seat belt so it doesn't give me a chime. So thank you, sir. Hopefully that answered your question. Appreciate the tip a lot. That's so great. Okay, let's shift gears. I'll look for some more questions here in a minute. That was my big thing for you tonight, was the Nashville thing. So let's keep going. Embassy RV's in the house tonight. Yeah, we had a great time together. So all the Embassy RV folks, February is the best time to be in Florida. It's about 2 weeks after the Super Show in Tampa. So let's all rally around this. And if we get enough Embassy folks, let's make a big noise to get, I don't know, Justin and Terry down from the factory out of Elkhart. Wouldn't they want to enjoy a little R&R in the Florida sunshine in February? They sure could use it. And make that a rally point. I would love that idea. Morris from New Jersey. Good to see you, sir. Yeah, P-51 Mustang, they do have those flying around occasionally. I don't think from the same company, but the one I did look at was $2,500 for a half-hour trip. That's a little rich for a starving YouTuber. So 500 I could swing, but I just want to always be in one of the bombers and the P-51 Mustang. That will happen someday, I'm pretty sure. Deborah's saying that the World War II average male serviceman was 5'9", 150 pounds. I believe it, because there was no room. I was the skinniest guy on there, and some of the larger folks, they were really having a hard time moving around the airplane. Don't be jealous, cat. Get out there. Let's see. Yeah, thank you for helping with that, April. I really do appreciate that a lot. And I got to get your super chat. I still have it in my envelope. I haven't even opened it yet. I just thought about that. Oh my God, I'm so bad. I tucked it away. So, yeah, Ken Burns is just a stud. He has done so many great programs. Such great learning for him, right? Ken Madu, it's a good question. What was the Yes lineup? So I've been listening to Yes songs, the essentials from Apple Music. I was there for an hour, and I didn't hear a single song I recognized from that, like their greatest hits. So I was super bummed out. And I was super tired. I've been recording and editing like a madman, so I actually left. Wah, 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 I know. Was John Anderson singing? He was a young guy, long hair. I don't really know Yes very well. I much would have preferred to have a country act in there, but so I just don't know Yes very well. They have made some great songs over the years, but don't ding me for leaving early. I just had enough. I got my experience, which was the whole thing. I just want to hear music live in the Ryman with a bunch of crazies, and I can't tell you what a different experience it was, being in a huge, the Opry House that holds like 4,000 people versus I don't even know what the Ryman holds. Maybe you do out there. Oh yeah, Emmylou Harris. Thank you for getting the spelling right. Sorry about that. Matthew, look at this. Thank you for a jingle in the jar. Thank you for your super chat, sir. I really appreciate that. As always, Scott, we'll miss you next couple of weeks, but enjoy your holiday. See you on the back side. Enjoy Libation, my friend. Appreciate that. And I'm really excited. The great thing about Europe is, well, once you're on Europe, the boats, this is cruise boats, not the case. We did buy the bar package for the boat. I can't remember how much it was, $1,500. But when you get on Europe, continent, at least in Spain, all the places we've been to quite a few countries, water is way more expensive than beer. It's just the craziest thing. And Coca-Cola is even more expensive. So why not just have a libation, right? But thank you, Matt. I really do appreciate it. And keep coming to the show. You got some great guest hosts. We got Mason Mike. He's going to talk about traveling with his dog. So if you're wanting to travel with a dog, he's going to give you all kinds of hot tips, I'm pretty sure. And the two solo females got a lot of different angles on travel. Sherry's by herself. But Frisco T, she's got her husband who's not interested in the van thing at all. Kind of like my guy. Kyle's not interested in the van thing at all. So I travel solo, even though we're connected. So if you're a couple where one wants to travel, one doesn't, Teresa, Frisco T, would be a perfect person to ask questions about that. You might get some good tips. And then Roger and Jane, they mod their van. So please come back for the next 4 weeks. And I might even sneak in, depending on where I'm coming from, connectivity and time of day. I'm getting corrected on my my Nashville stuff tonight, which is great. D. Mon Brune. Thank you, Jerry. Appreciate that. I love you guys. You're so great. And we've talked about, let's see, we parked at, yes, so we parked at 2nd and Broadway Monday afternoon. Plenty of room. RT fit right in the middle of it all. Yeah, I would agree. That's a pretty good street because it's not on Broadway. That would be kind of a bad street to park on. But I can see a couple blocks off Broadway would be pretty quiet, and I would. That's where I street camped in November of 2020, and 45 days later, that guy blew up downtown Nashville. People like that just. Let's see. Kat says next trip isn't until early December. San Francisco to see more bucket list places. They didn't see last time. And that's kind of my deal here. I came for the airplane ride, and then I extended my stay to incorporate Opryland, the Ryman Auditorium, and getting a bunch of work done. But the plane ride is actually what brought me to Nashville, knowing I'm getting ready to fly away. So my next, I'm going to be camping out with the Russos this weekend before they take me to the airport. I'm so excited. Let's see. Mason Mike says you edit your videos much better than the editing team. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. I am finding a new joy for it, I must say. Maybe I was trying too hard. I don't know. Roads of Life says, out of all your libations, which is your favorite? This may surprise you. Clearly Shiner Box, pretty yummy. Everybody's walking by looking at me. So I don't want to drink in my van right now. Bourbon whiskey, my favorites. some of the big producers, like Elijah Craig is probably my new favorite. It used to be Bullet Rye, and I am in love with Elijah Craig. And I had downtown Nashville, there is a bar across from the music center there, and got me introduced to Gentleman Jack. I gotta tell you, that was pretty good. Gentleman, I'm not a big Jack Daniels fan. It's really charcoaled and has a very distinct Jack Daniels flavor, which is a little over the top for me. But the Gentleman Jack was delicious. So I may have to do a libation live and bring him back in the van. But it's really hard to say what's, it's like, where's your favorite place you've been? They're also, it's easier to say where I didn't like, which even that list is pretty short. Yeah. My favorite one is going to be when I get some of these booze companies to sponsor me. At least send me a bottle of booze. That means I need to be organized. What do you think of my ceiling lighting? I thought it was the coolest thing. I got my LED candle going. I just love this time of year because it's dark early. Just autumn's my favorite time. Best time to get out there. To go camping. Good question here. D. Morse. What campground do you recommend by the Opryland? I'm a huge fan of KOA. They have a great app. They have a great staff. This is a KOA resort. So they got all kinds of amenities. Now it's kind of expensive on weekends. I would get a back-end site. I'm in site S14, Sierra 14. That's the one you want to ask for because it's off the beaten path. There's no campfires. There's no kids. There's very few dogs. And you are parked right next to the corner and where's one of the staff members. So it's a really safe spot. I always pull in so I'm not turned around in a back-end site, so I have to look at all the RVs. So I'd highly recommend KOA. They're really close. They're literally 10 minutes from where I'm sitting right now at the Opryland. Weekends, it's about $60, $70 weekdays, and it's like $90 for that site for weekends. Weekends are really big. They got a restaurant, and they got booze for sale, and they've got hot tubs. And now there's two other campgrounds on the same road. Nashville RV Resort, and I can't think of what the other one is. There's at least the Nashville one. So there's two on the same road. I think there's three total. But I would just do some searching. There's another KOA that's out of town that's less expensive, but it's about a 20-minute hike. And you're kind of out in the outskirts of town. This KOA, you can be downtown in 15 minutes. So that's kind of what I'd recommend. There's lots of state parks nearby. I haven't stayed at those. I'm in it for the urban experience. But great question. So look up KOA. Boy, if you're doing KOA, if you're doing anything in these campgrounds in a tourist area like this, book in advance. Now, vans can sneak in more easily, but I kept hearing them all day today turning business away for the weekend because they're sold out. Good question. How are we doing on time? Wow, this is flying by. A few more questions. Anybody walking by? I thought I parked far enough away. Must be a big move. And I took 4 spots tonight, which is not overly cool because there's trees by the park strip, hanging way over, and I would have scratched. So I'm actually taking 4. Rich's got another question here. Roads Alive. I know you've complained about your installation before. Have you ever been able to add more? No, because you'd have to really. I mean, if somebody knows the answer, because where it really needs it, it can't get to it easily. I mean, you could put some in the door panels. When we put the ladder on, we pulled the plastic thing off, and there is literally a piece of like the pink stuff, although it was white. You would see it home, but it wasn't tucked in around the door windows and stuff like that. So it'd be pretty. Now all the big guys like Embassy and Storyteller and Rover Vans out of Chicago, they all tuck the Havelock wool in and use the bubble wrap and do other things. So I probably got the least insulated van. And to tear it all apart to put, it's just not worth it. So buy a new van would be the answer to that. Oh, look at this. Jerry did answer us. Thank you, Jerry. I have one audiobook, Secrets of RVing on Social Security. So there you go. Audiobook. Thank you, Jerry, for talking to us about that. And I actually did my budgeting over the weekend. I'm hoping to get this video out. I don't know if I can get this one out. But I was shocked at how little money I'm spending. even staying at KOAs, campgrounds, because I haven't been moving a lot. I've been trying to get all this work done. And I'm hoping I can get that out. If not, we'll do it when we get back, because I was pretty shocked. My business channel expenses, I took this expensive workshop and I did this editing team thing, which is going to be a nightmare to unwind, but anyway, the actual cost was way, way less than I thought, so I'm excited to get that into your eyeballs. I'll give you some tips there. Look at this. Van Liberty, thank you, sir, for the plane libation. God, I hope they have alcohol on the overnight flights to Europe. Jeez. I'm taking sleeping pills. Yes, April, thank you. Tuck. Have a great trip. See you soon. Yes, ma'am. I'm excited for that. Hey, Mason Mike, look at this. He wants to know, thank you for the tip, sir. I appreciate that. You guys are filling up my libation live allowance. Hey, Scott, are you going to have a second annual Vamboree at your Airbnb backyard property again? That was a blast. Yes, it was. Yes, February is a great month. We probably won't do it at the house because we're going to put everybody at the Florida Van Life Gathering. I think that would be more interesting. Now, if somebody wants to come to my house after that, because I don't think I want to run from Tampa to Fort Lauderdale, basically, and then back. It's a 4.5 hour drive. So I'm probably going to stay on the Tampa side for a while. And I'm actually kind of hoping to get out of Florida by mid-February. So I may not even go back to home base. So the answer is no. We should do the second annual. We could do that if they didn't have this grand event already planned. And let me tell you, it's kind of fun when somebody else does a party planning. Then I can relax a little bit. So thank you for that question. I'd love to make an annual event, but they already have one going. So let's see. Teresa, thank you. You didn't need to do that. You guys are my guest host. I so appreciate that. Yes, a second annual Vamboree. We did have a blast, though. Wasn't that something else? Wasn't Van Liberty and Beyond Intentions doing karaoke till like 4 in the morning or something like that? Well, the other reason we can't do it now that I think about this is Kyle's completely redone that area, and we're putting in tiny homes back there as part of the Airbnb experience. So we don't have places for vans anymore. It's all been leveled and graveled. Septic tank's been put in back there, a septic system, and he's turned the warehouse into an event space. So yeah, unfortunately, that might have been our first and only. You guys that came to that know what fun that was, and we did such a blast. Oh my gosh. But we're going to do it again, just like we did in Chattanooga at the Adventure Event Expo. And I'm really looking forward to that. All right, a few more questions. Thank you for this. Googling, Ryman Auditorium is 2,300 folks. And the Opry, maybe Google that for us, it's in excess of, is it like 4,000, I think? 3,600. It's considerably larger. Very cool experiences both. Put them on if you're into country music. If you're into music, go see something at the Ryman. Man, Liberty saying that Airbnb, it was a Vamboree beyond Vamborees. It was it was fun. Let's see. Van Liberty saying the Gentleman Jack is smooth. We got 90. I think we hit 98 today. That's pretty good for. That's pretty good. Let's see. Oh, April, God love you. Might be able to help you out with some of that sponsorship. I might know some people. She kind of comes from the bar business, so yeah, if you know of anybody, just a couple select ones, I would love to at least get booze that we could sample and talk about. All the stuff I do, I don't get any advertising money from this at all, other than the YouTube channel. Watching the ads, or unless you're a red membership on the YouTube. I do some work for Embassy RV and for Volta, but everything else I talk about, I don't get comped for any of this stuff. So maybe that'll be my goal next year. Okay, so let's do this. We're at the top of the hour. I'm going to get this song out because it goes with our theme tonight, which is to take a trip in your van. And we're in Nashville, Music City, USA. Right, so here's the song of the week. If you haven't heard this song, get this one spun up. I'll zoom in here for you. Joe D. Messina? Heads Carolina, Tails California. If you have not heard that song ever or recently, spin that up on your music system tonight and pick where your next trip is. This debuted in 1996. She's had 6 #1 songs on the country Billboard charts, and she's had 2 Grammy nominations. It is such a great song, and it's so on point about traveling in a van. So, flip your coin and figure out where you're going in the month of October in your van, if you don't have that figured out yet. Is that fair? I'm going on vacation. You got to take a trip. How about that? And we'll talk about it when we get back. All right, let's see if there's anything else. I don't think so, right? And I just want to remind you, guest host for the next 4 weeks, please come. And I might sneak in from wherever I am in Europe if I can. But Mason Mike's up next week, the 19th, and then Sherry on the 26th, and then Frisco T on November 2, and on November 9 is Roger and Jane. So please come and support them. Let's keep this rolling. I am just so proud of them for stepping up when asked and doing this for me and for you. Literally, they're really helping out the channel here. They're going above and beyond. That's why they are audience angels for sure. And they got really cool stories to tell that you will want to hear about. So with that, let me just, there's one more great question. Teresa's got a great question. How about a Lukenbach, Texas campout? We can make that happen. Probably earlier in the year is better because it gets really hot, or maybe we can do it December when I roll out of here. I got to figure that out. I would love to do a camp out in Lukenbach, and under normal conditions you can stay in an RV 2 nights there. I think it's $25 last time I asked. 2 consecutive nights in Lukenbach. That would be a blinding fun weekend, right? Oh my god. Yeah, I think that's it. Let me just one quick pass for questions. Mike's, yes, he's going to Tampa. It's going to be so much fun. Get your ticket. Tell them Scott sent you GSSL. We're going to have them on the show soon, so they'll be talking about it. And thank you for that. Journey on, enjoy the vacation. I am. And with that, we will say thank you for watching tonight. Really appreciate that. You all drive me forward, and you are so important to me, each and every one of you, whether we've never met or we're still going to meet someday or we've met a million times. Because it's this community we're building that is just so awesome, and that's why I keep doing it. So with that, we say good night. Thank you, guest host, for the next 4 weeks. We'll see you in the middle of November, I guess. And catch me on Instagram. I'll probably do some posts on Instagram while I'm floating around out there just because. All right, folks, thank you very much. We should journey on, and peace be with you.